US President Biden asks state to offer unvaccinated people $100 to get a shot.
On to your top story this afternoon. The body of Judykumari Ishalini, the 16-year-old girl who died with burn injuries at the Colombo residence of former Minister Rishad Badiuddin, was exhumed today as per a court order.
The body was exhumed today as per a court order before the three-member panel of experts appointed to conduct the second post-mortem examination. The members of the three-member expert panel are Professor Jean Pereira, Professor of Forensic Medicine at the Medical Faculty of the University of Colombo, Senior Lecturer Dr. Samira Gunawardana, Head of the Department of Forensic Medicine and Toxicology at the Medical Faculty of the University of Colombo, Dr. Prabhat Senasinghe, Consultant Judicial Medical Officer at the Peradeniya Teaching Hospital. Court ordered for the exhumed body of 16-year-old Judykumari Ishalini to be moved to the Peradeniya Teaching Hospital under armed guard for the second post-mortem to be carried out. The exhumation was carried out under strict police supervision.
Women for Freedom made a complaint at the National Child Protection Authority this morning. The group representing Women for Freedom requested the National Child Protection Authority to take practical action to prevent child abuse and violent acts against children in Sri Lanka. There is an increasing trend in the rate of pornographic and inappropriate content being released to the cyberspace against a backdrop of children being directed to online learning methods. According to authorities, around 15,000 abuse cases online were reported last year. Convening a media briefing, Sri Lanka Computer Emergency Response Team or SL-CERT said the rate of cyberbullying through social media outlets has significantly increased in Sri Lanka.
People have been inclined to use the internet much often now. Even the children engage in their studies, interacting with the teachers online. By June this year, approximately 8,000 cases of social media abuse have been reported. With the figure that has been reported in the first 6 months of this year, we can say that the total number of cases that will be reported at the end of this year will be higher than the previous year. We cannot go ahead without technology. We have to use technology, but it has to be used safely and wisely.
How
can we save our children from these inappropriate materials?
If your children are engaging in studies using software and electronic tools, you have to take steps to limit the time they spend on the internet and monitor their activities constantly. If you do not know how to use the parental control software to monitor your child, call us on 011 2691 692. As the Computer Emergency Readiness Team, we reckon parents must definitely know about these technicalities. You can call our institution and be informed in this regard.
Police said 2 suspects were arrested and over 42 kilograms of heroin were seized during anti-narcotic operations conducted in a 24-hour window that ended this morning.
The Kalutara Range Crime Division arrested a 23-year-old suspect along with 40 kilograms of heroin during a raid conducted in the Rerukana area in Bandaragama this morning. Police spokesperson Senior DIG Ajit Rohana said the stock of heroin is valued approximately at 400 million rupees. According to Senior DIG Ajit Rohana, information had come to light that the main drug trafficker who operated the narcotic ring is currently in Dubai.
Right, one. No. Hurry.
Police arrested one suspect in the Denia area in Migoda along with a stock of heroin worth close to 25 million rupees during a raid conducted by the Western Province Crimes Division. According to police, a stock of 2 kilograms and 450 grams of heroin was discovered in the possession of the suspect at the time of the arrest. The suspect has been identified as a 40-year-old resident of Migoda.
The Director General of Health Services confirmed yesterday that 66 COVID-19 deaths were reported in the country on Wednesday, the 28th of July. Army Commander General Shavindra Silva said 2,370 new COVID-19 cases were detected in the country yesterday. Meanwhile, State Minister of Pharmaceutical Production, Supply and Regulation, Professor Channa Jayasumana said 515,830 jabs were administered yesterday, which is the highest number of jabs inoculated in a single day. Moving on, US President Joe Biden is asking states and localities to offer unvaccinated residents $100 to get their COVID-19 shots.
The cash reward for vaccination was one idea in Biden's latest plan to boost lagging vaccination rates in many parts of the nation. Rolled yesterday, the core of his new plan is a requirement for federal workers to disclose their vaccination status to their agencies. Biden is pointing to anecdotal evidence that $100 reward will get results. Biden says states and localities can use money from his COVID relief law to pay the incentive programs. Lawmakers are already eyeing repurposing roughly $200 billion in unspent coronavirus relief funding to finance a bipartisan infrastructure deal. Many states have already parceled out their aid to cover the cost of providing health care or paying the salaries of essential workers. Some, like California, provided direct payments to their residents.
Samagi Jana Balawegaya MP SM Marikar questioned the efforts of the government to purchase the Sinovac vaccine without a proper assessment.
The Daily Mirror reports that the government is preparing to import 13 million doses of the Sinovac vaccine. As of now, 3 people on that expert committee have resigned. They are going to purchase the Sinovac vaccine at $15 each. Media reported that the Sinopharm vaccine is to be bought at $7. This expert committee has said that the Sinopharm vaccine is very effective even towards the new variants of the virus. But no study has revealed that the Sinovac vaccine is immune against the Delta variant. So why is the government trying to bring down 13 million doses of the Sinovac vaccine without a proper study on the efficacy of the vaccine and before this expert committee issued their recommendations in this regard? Is the government trying to show that they were the only ones who did it best by bringing down some kind of a vaccine?
කාර්යක්ෂමතාවය පිළිබඳව සොයා බැලීමක් නැතුව විශේෂඥ කමිටුව නිර්දේශය කරන්න කලින්ම මේ 13ක් හොයන්න යන්නේ මොනවා හරි නැත්තක් ගාලා අපි තමයි හොඳටම කරේ කියලා පෙන්වන්නද?
Teachers and principals refrained from attending online classes for the 19th day today, demanding solutions for their salary anomalies.
A protest was staged by the teachers and principals in the Kadwela town today. The protest is currently being held at the Kadwela town, requesting to provide solutions for the salary anomalies and to abolish the proposed Sir John Kotalawala Defence University bill. The group of protesters marched towards Kadwela town from the Bombriya Vidyalaya in Kadwela.
Why did the previous regime fail to resolve the teachers' salary anomalies? This is what former Minister Akhila Viraj Karyavasam had to say.
The government of good governance was unable to resolve the teachers' salary anomalies since we increased the salaries by 10,000 rupees. We couldn't resolve the matter the year after because we were unable to bear the burden. Following discussions with the trade union leaders, we took steps to remove the teachers' salary anomalies. The cabinet approval was granted. Approval was granted to allocate the funds required. However, we couldn't implement it because of the change in governments. Are these teachers protesting for something that Gotabaya Rajapaksa did? Is it due to a fault of Gotabaya Rajapaksa or Mahinda Rajapaksa that they are protesting? This is an issue that has not been resolved for a long time. But do we have a suitable situation in the country at present to organize protests? No. How much money is this government spending to bring down vaccines? Some are alleging that there is no development taking place in the country. That is true. The government is spending the money they have to develop the country to bring down vaccines. It is against such a backdrop that the teachers in this country are protesting. We would like to ask those teachers whether they are acting according to their conscience.
The revolution staged by the teachers by taking to the streets are not staged for the anger they have with the children. I kindly request the Rajapaksas, starting from the President, with all due respect, to please discuss this matter with the trade union leaders. Fulfill their demands at least for 2 to 3 months until the spread of COVID-19 is curbed. Please provide assurance in writing, citing that these demands will be met. I will also wait for some time, and if no solution is provided, I will also take to the streets with the teachers.
Several protests opposing the proposed Kothalavala Defence University Bill were held across the country today.
A protest march opposing the proposed bill organized by the students of the Sabaragamu University was held in Ratnapura. A demonstration organized by the Janata Vimukti Peramuna was held in Panvila this morning against the rise in cost of living and the proposed KDU bill. A group of parents in Hakmana engaged in a protest this morning opposing the proposed KDU bill and demanding that the teachers' salary anomalies be removed. Convening a media briefing, Parents Forum for Students' Rights expressed the following views. As parents, we are in a desperate state now. Our children are confined to homes without education. Teachers are demanding that the salary anomaly issue that they struggled for 23 years must be resolved. Teachers provide a valuable service. Don't ruin the education of our children. There are teachers who purchased mobile phones for students from their own salaries. We urge the government to solve the problem teachers face and create a proper platform for online education.
කරුණාකරලා රජයෙන් මේ ගුරුවරුන්ගේ මේ ප්‍රශ්නට විසඳුම් දීලා අපේ දරුවන්ට නිදහසේ අධ්‍යාපන මේ ඔන්ලයින් අධ්‍යාපනයවත් නිදහසේ කරන්න වාතාවරණයක් උදා කරලා දෙන්න කියන එක අපි රජයෙන් ඉල්ලනවා.
Farmers of the Kaudulla agrarian settlement are facing difficulties due to rapid drop in the paddy prices.
Farming community of the Madirigiriya Kaudulla agrarian settlement claim that the price of paddy has reduced drastically as the harvest of the Yalla season come close to being reaped. Under the Yalla season, 7,500 farmers of the Madirigiriya Kaudulla agrarian settlement have grown paddy for 18,000 acres. They urge the authorities to pay heed to their demands. Meanwhile, farmers point out that the paddy harvest in Ududumbara Uduvatta has reduced by 60%. Farmers point out that the fertilizer shortage has caused reduction of the harvest.
Is the government using the COVID-19 pandemic to suppress trade unions? Former JVP Provincial Councillor Samantha Vidyaratna expressed his views in this regard.
COVID-19 pandemic in Sri Lanka is not considered as a health crisis anymore. We see that the current government is using COVID-19 as a tool to threaten teachers and principals to stop the protests. It has been used to threaten the farmers and students as well. The COVID-19 pandemic in Sri Lanka is no longer a health issue. It has now become a political tool. If the government is managing the issues properly at a time like this, why did they put forward the Kotalavala bill?
මේ වගේ වසංගතයක් වෙලාවේ අයි කොතලාවල පනත ගෙනාවේ මේ රටේ අධ්‍යාපනය විකුණන්නේ අයි පනත ගෙනාවේ අයි මේ රටේ කුෂිකර්මාන්තර නොමිල පෝර දෙනවා කියලා ආපු ආණ්ඩු එක පාට මේ පෝර ගෙන එක නවත්තලා 100%ක් කාබනි කුෂිකර්මාන්තර මේ රටේ ජනතාව හරවන්න පටන් ගත්තේ.
Colombo Chief Magistrate Buddhika Sri Ragala today ordered to release former Deputy Minister Sarana Gunawardena from the charges in 8 cases filed against him by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. Assistant Director of the Bribery Commission, Asita Anthony, told the court that the cases were filed against the former Deputy Minister without the written approval from the 3 commissioners, and therefore an issue had arisen with regard to proceeding with the case. Counsel for the former Deputy Minister, Attorney-at-Law Niroshan Sirivardhana, thereby requested the court to release his client from the charges. The Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption had filed 8 cases against Sarana Gunawardena for causing losses to the state by leasing vehicles to the Development Lotteries Board while he was the chairman in 2007 without following the proper tender procedure. Sri Lanka registered their first bilateral T20 international series win over India following their resounding win in the 3rd match by 7 wickets at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo yesterday. Sri Lanka's athlete Nimali Liyanarachi came in 8th at the preliminary round of the women's 800 meters event at the Tokyo Olympic Games today. That we bring to a close this edition of Lunchtime News on TV1. For details of these stories and much more, simply log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. For the News First, the voice of the people, I am Martin Satyanesan. You take care and stay safe.